So this is the best way to practice English. Best way to practice not only speaking but all your areas of English so that you can get maximum results for the efforts that you are putting in to learn English and to improve your... Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. So welcome back to another session of learning English with me and improving your English speaking skills. Well, today's video is all about the best way to practice English. Now, practicing English is very important. Practicing English speaking, not just speaking, reading, listening, writing, is important. Practicing your English language skills is essential part of your fluency journey. What is the best way to practice English? Today, we are going to decode this in this particular lesson. So, are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. And before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you do not forget to check out all the lessons that I post for you on the channel. Please like the video and share it with your friends too. Now coming back to today's lesson, that is the best way to practice English. What is the best way to practice English where your efforts will give the maximum result possible? Can you imagine the amount of results that you want? You will achieve them, you'll get them, and you will achieve fluency. For example, this is the effort you are making and the result you are getting is less. That means there is something going wrong with your practice, which is not to the mark, up to the mark. Now, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to find that best way to practice English. That is the only solution. So that when you make these many efforts, you get this much result. So results are greater than the efforts. That means you get maximum result that is possible, maximum output. Your efforts are the input and you'll get maximum output. That is your English speaking fluency. So what is this particular way to practice English? Well, the mistake that we all make is we do mindless practice. A lot of people fall prey to mindless practice. Now, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to take up deliberate practice. Deliberate practice. Now, mindless practice, deliberate practice, heavy terms? No, they are not heavy terms. I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to decode this for you. So, first of all, let's focus on mindless practice. Only then we'll be able to understand deliberate practice. The best way to practice English, that is the deliberate practice. So what is mindless practice? Mindless practice is repeating task after task after task and not doing anything new. So you are repeatedly doing the same task again and again. You are repeatedly doing same thing again and again. For example, you're just reading and reading. You're not indulging in any other particular activity or task while learning English, and you think that just reading will give you results. So that is something that you are doing in a mindless manner. That is mindless practice. So learning English is a skill. Speaking English is a skill. Languages are considered to be skill because this is something that you develop. Speaking fluent English is something that we can develop with practice. That is why it's a skill. Now, the concept of mindless practice and deliberate practice applies to all the skills that we learn. It can be any skill, and today we are applying this particular formula to learning English language. So, mindless practice does not have any kind of target. It's not systematic. You don't have any goal, any plan, nothing. What you do is you do things randomly. It's totally random. You do not pay attention to your weak areas. You do not consider your strengths. Nothing is evaluated, nothing is analyzed. The thing is that you are practicing English. I'm not saying that you're not making efforts. You are making efforts, but there is no direction to those particular efforts. So, for example, you need to improve your vocabulary. That's your direction, but you're not even aware about it. And the kind of practice you're doing is not helping you improve your vocabulary. That means the results are not going to be what you expect. Even though you're making efforts, still the results will upset you. Why? Because your practice is not targeted. Your practice is not targeting your areas that need improvement. That is the mindless practice. Randomly doing practice, randomly choosing a time to do the practice, not being consistent enough in your practice, that is all a part of mindless practice. And a lot of times people do that, saying that they don't get time to learn English. But it's up to you whether you are going to do this mindless practice and let your efforts go to vain, or you will take up the deliberate practice. The best way to practice English. Deliberate practice. Now, what is this deliberate practice? Let's come to this particular part of the video. Well, deliberate practice is the practice that can make you perfect in a skill. The best way to practice any skill, because it is purposeful, it is systematic and strategic. That means it's systematic. It follows a particular pattern, a system. You are totally focused on your task. So when you're focused on your task on hand, that means you're doing deliberate practice. Deliberate practice means taking up a particular area and working on that particular area till you improve, or bringing variety to your tasks to learn English. For example, you're not just reading, but you're also listening, you're doing your speaking practice, vocabulary enhancement, everything is going side by side so that you are able to develop overall English. It's like you're properly dividing your tasks with proper amount of time. For example, you might be required to give more time to your speaking practice. So, deliberate practice says that then give more time to speaking practice. If you're practicing for 30 minutes, give 10 minutes to speaking practice, and rest of the 20 minutes should be divided accordingly for the other tasks. That is what deliberate practice says. Now, I have a great example of a person, that is Benjamin Franklin. Now, we all know he's a very famous diplomat. Benjamin Franklin was very weak in his writing skills. And once his father scolded him for this particular area of weakness. So what he thought was, I'm going to improve this particular area of mine. And he took up deliberate practice. Now, this example is going to show you how you need to take up the deliberate practice. What he did was, he took up some essays written by the great essayist at that particular time, by the great writers. Perfectly written essays. He studied them thoroughly. He read them, studied them, and after that, he put them aside. He started writing those articles in his own words. He wrote one article, then another, and then another. And he studied each and every article of his. And he tried to find out what is the particular area of weakness, what is going wrong. And the conclusion that he came to was that he needed to improve his vocabulary. Vocabulary is the weakness that is hindering him from writing great essays or improving his writing skills. In this way, he took up deliberate practice to find out the area of weakness, and through deliberate practice, he improved this particular area to become a great writer and improved his writing skills. So that is what you are supposed to do. Through deliberate practice, you are systematic, your approach is focused. We need to have a very focused approach. For example, you have set specific goals to achieve your particular aims to learn English. You want to improve this particular area of English. You have perfect set goals. That means you're taking up the deliberate practice. You are doing deliberate practice. So deliberate practice is specific, it's goal oriented, you are clear with what you are supposed to practice, your time, dedicated time is clear that this is the time, this is the amount of time that I'm going to dedicate to this particular task. You are clear about what this task is supposed to improve, what this task is supposed to be, and you plan your tasks. For example, my videos on 30 days challenge, 6-week challenge gives you deliberate practice goals. The deliberate practice goals. Now, all those goals, all those tasks, they are designed keeping in mind the practice of deliberate practice to improve any skill. And as we are learning how to speak fluent English, those particular goals, the tasks that I have created in these 2 videos of mine, they are deliberate practice for you. So deliberate practice is very important. Do not fall prey to mindless practice, that is randomly doing anything anytime that you want. No, systematic manner of approaching a particular practice is important, and I have designed these particular goals, the tasks for you. These are my personally designed tasks for you. I have kept in mind various areas of English. So anybody who's taking up this particular challenge, the 30 days challenge or the 6-week challenge, they'll be able to improve various areas of English. The tasks are divided, systematic, with proper time period, and they are goal oriented. That means there's this particular time limit, that in this particular time limit you're supposed to achieve it, you're supposed to complete this. They are measurable, specific, and focused, targeted to improve a particular skill in English. So that is your deliberate practice. So this is the best way to practice English. Best way to practice not only speaking but all your areas of English, so that you can get maximum results for the efforts that you're putting in to learn English and to improve your English. So take up the task of deliberate practice and take help of my challenges, the 30 days challenge and the 6-week challenge, to start your deliberate practice from today. That's it. That was it. Now I'm gonna meet you again in a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.